much experience is the best teacher. So I'm about to tell you guys about pretty much my life or my walk. Just how did I get where I am now. Born and raised in the church. Born and raised in the church. Parents are pastors, and I guess with them, I did a lot of Bible study with my parents. It was crazy Bible studies in the house. Pray early in the morning. When they'll wake us up at 5 a.m. Pray. Before you go to school, pray. So while doing this, I got that religion of cool. I could pray. I had my little prayers down packed. I could say the same prayer. Give you a quick little 30-minute. Probably it could be long, it could be short, but I had like my own little script. Parents were definitely an example of life. They pretty much, as I grew up, it was like, okay, you gotta greet your parents, you gotta respect adults. They pushed more within service too when it comes to service. That's why a lot of guys, y'all see me in a lot of things concerning BCF. Y'all see me in tech. Y'all see me in music. That's all I was about. I took doing service for God seriously. But life did whatever I wanted. Came into high school or middle school, got expelled like the week before graduation, and I was valedictorian. High school, just doing whatever. I was able to, I was playing sports, graduated like a 3.7, went to college, and it was just favor over my life. I used to ask God, why? I was asking him why. Just sticking to his work. College, started to get OC. Didn't have my parents around. I went to North Carolina A&T. And pretty much from there, joined the band, was doing well. Everything was smooth. Pastor called me one day. I decided to start to go back to church. I did my first semester in college, I didn't go to church. I felt like something was missing that whole semester. But I found the church. Went to the church, and I played my little gigs, be at the club Saturday night, 7 a.m., I get home, 8 o'clock, I'm in church. You wouldn't even know I went to the club the night before. So, as I was doing that, I knew God. Actually, when I started coming to that church, that's when I actually met, Uncle George. Uncle George be like, Jake, you're a cool guy, you're good, but you're missing Jesus. That's what he told me. Then my pastor came up to me later on, probably 2007, and he was like, God told me that you're in a band, and you need to leave. I was like, no. I can't do that. We going on tour. I'm a college student, and, grades all right. I got good. He was like, you need to go. So I was like, all right, cool. So my band members, they was like, cool, you've been in church, we know you're in church. So, go ahead. They said that, but it was like, hey, we got this show on Wednesday, we need you. So I was like, cool, that's nothing. I can do one show. That Wednesday turned to the next Sunday, then the next Saturday, then the Thursday, and everything. So I stayed doing gigs. Life started to mess up. Bank account started to mess up. I never had issues financially until that moment. Overdraft fees out. I never got so many joys in my life. And then, grades started to get horrible. My car I just bought started acting up. Then I was like, all right, God, I'm done. I stopped, and then everything started working out except for grades. And then, later on, I graduated and started getting more heavier with the church at BCF. Then I also started linking up with one of my spiritual fathers and started actually going on crusades with them, different states. And it was one particular one in December of 2009. I went out, my thing was, I'm just playing drums. It's cool. Decided to go and play drums here, and then God just hit me. He just hit me. As I was playing drums, it was like I was watching myself play drums. And then when I opened my eyes, everybody was on the floor. And I was like, all right, God, I got you. No more games. I always say that. No more games. Went back to my old ways. You know, you get that little, when you give it like to Christ, you got that little big old hype in the beginning, and then, it dies out a little bit. Then, through the course of all this, God has been talking to me. I've been the one that's been motivating everybody else, bringing out the scriptures, because I used to do it when I was young at my parents' house, or my parents' church, or, my other churches. And, it was just something missing. And that was that relationship with Jesus. Everything boiled down to pretty much, slaps on the face. God's like, Jake, wake up. I'm blessing you, but wake up. So, pretty much hit me at the end of last year. At the end of last year, I pretty much told God, I was like, look, 2014 is all me and you. So it's all me and you. And, you know how people be like, you give your life to Christ. All right, you gotta give up smoking, you gotta start slowing stuff down and everything. My thing was like, look, just drop everything. It's just me and God. So what happened? What I started doing? This thing right here. I specifically gave myself time where every morning, once I get up, before I even get out of my bed, before I get ready for work, this is what I read. Not only I read it, I actually study what I read. I read a chapter probably once a day, maybe 2 chapters, 3 chapters, or whatever. But as I read it, I'm constantly telling God, I read it once, and I'm like, hey, God, I just read this. I'm about to read it again. Time to start talking. That was my first approach. Since that first time, I literally been hearing everything from God clear. Everything has been clear. The other thing I started knocking out was this right here. This thing gets everybody in trouble. Gets everybody in trouble. There's certain people that you shouldn't even be talking to that gets this thing. Everyone has it. I just started leaving. I left it alone. Certain people I had to ignore. Certain places I couldn't go to anymore. As I'm doing this, God's constantly talking to me, opening doors, literally, it's crazy stuff that's been going on. Crazy. Y'all hear stories later, but it's been crazy. I'll tell y'all about some of the stuff, but it's crazy. But definitely, that relationship with God matters. How does that deal with faith? When you think about faith, the first thing I think of is faith. People being faithful. When we think of faithful people, what normally comes up? Relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend. How you deal with them. Factors in relationships. What are factors in relationships? Trust. Communication. Love, openness. Vulnerability. Time. All that's factors with how you spend your time with God, or how you treat God. I wanted to talk to y'all about faith and that. I wanted to talk to y'all about faith and everything. But even one of my through my notes, one of the questions that I asked concerning faith was, who is God to you? If you know who God is to you, faith is already there. You have the ability to impact whatever you have around you, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, whether it's this campus, whether it's this world. It's all that factors in. Man, I wonder, I had crazy notes and everything. But I'm probably not even going through them. But definitely relationship. Some of y'all have, probably everybody been in a relationship or in a relationship like that. You know how you spend time with your boo thing. You know how it is. Treat God that way. Some of us, if you are in a relationship and you only talk to them for 2 minutes a day, what happens to that relationship? It's done. That relationship is done. So how much time do you spend with your father? I look at God as a mentor, a father, my best friend. I don't have little prayers like Almighty Father. I don't do none of that. You know, my thing is like, God, you see this issue, hey, do something, man. Like, it's about that time to make it happen. It's about time to make it happen. But those are the type of conversations you have to deal with your relationship. How your relationship is with him. You got to know who God is. The only way you'll know who he is him right here. Get on this thing. It's no joke. This thing is no joke. And even when you spend that time with him, like, treat it just like you with your boo. You want it to be very intimate. You want it special. Do that every day. And then everywhere you go, it's like God's always with you. You wake up in the morning. Hey, God, what's good, man? How you doing? Hey, thanks for waking me up. I'm about to hit the shower. I'll be back. Or, you know, you see somebody walking past God. Is this somebody I should be speaking to? God's like, go ahead. Or you could be walking through one door, and God's like, you know what? Hey, there's somebody right there waiting for you on the other side. Let's go over there. How you going to be able to hear his voice if your relationship with him is not there? And relationship matters. It matters. Then, you know, you got everybody that's like, you know, I ask God for this, I ask God for that. I give people the analogy of a father. If you know you have the bestest father on earth, or mother, uncle, whatever, they're not going to give you what you want right then and there. Sometimes they'll be like, you know what, I'm not going to give you a car when you're 11, or a car when you're 10. It's not that time for that. If you ask God for $1 million right now, and he gives it to you right now, you know, good and well, you're not going to be using it wisely. It's not that time. You got to get to the point where it's like that relationship. Understand that he's working. He knows the right time. And from there, you know, you have fun. Since January 2014, I've been at peace. Everything's been at peace. Like, I've been chilling. I tell everybody all the time, that's my word now. I've been chilling. All my musicians at church doing. I told them, they already know the story. I've been chilling. Life's been sweet. I've been relaxing. My grades getting out. I was stressing before. My grades starting to go away. Everybody in the job's like, you know, Jake, something's different. Like, I'm at peace, man. I'm at peace. And, you know, it gives me an opportunity to minister to them. You never miss out on an opportunity to minister to somebody. Doesn't mean you need to be like, hey, you know what? Hey, you need to get like the Christ. Nah, I mean, you know, just simple things like when somebody talks to me, and, you know, yeah, I pray for you. Everybody know, you know, you'll say, I pray for you. And most of the time, you don't even pray for them. I actually do it. But I do it as soon as I say it. I do it as soon as you say it. and watch what happens. They come to you a week after, hey, you know what, man? You know, I appreciate it. And they start coming to you for advice. And then you're like, you know what? Hey, Jesus loves you. That was quick, though. Yeah. But yeah, definitely, like, y'all got to love on God. Like, get into that word. I was supposed to talk about faith. I was supposed to talk about faith.
Holy Spirit.
I'm definitely going to talk about faith. Hey, see all these notes, man? Y'all don't want to know what I did to get here, man. Got notes on my phone. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, definitely. Like, and I don't plan on going back. I don't plan on going back. Like, the funny thing is, as I see run my life, doing like just crazy stuff in my life. I'm like, man, if you could just do this now, man, what's good with next year? What's good with the end of the year? I don't want to miss out on that. And another crazy thing that's been going on, prayer's been getting answered like this. So I was reading my word. I'm gonna give you an example. Whole time is all related to this. So I was reading. I'm studying Acts right now. So God was talking to me about leadership. And I told God, I was like, you know, as I write my notes and everything, as I study, you know, I also go in prayers as I read my word. So I was like, all right, God, you know, I see you talking about leadership. God, hey, be careful when y'all pray too. I was like, God, any opportunity you throw out there for me to speak, I do it. Guess what I got a couple minutes later? A text message from Priyanka asking me to teach. Oh, I wanted to say no at first, but I already wrote it. But I wrote it down on my journal, so I was like, you already wrote it, so you gotta do it. I was like, all right, God, I'm gonna do it. But I'm done. Honestly, I'm done. Like, my thing for real is, like, just spend time with God. Like, if this is the next 5 minutes right now, like, literally, like, we can just all bow our heads and, like, literally just talk to him. Don't even talk to him about, like, for real, if you're going through something, like, it's nothing. It's nothing to God. Like, look past it. Like, look past it. He probably make you go through these things for a particular reason. He may be ready to use you in that situation. He may be willing to use you to turn around that situation. Or he might have a nice little outcome at the end. You may think it's all over, but he definitely has something in store for you. Like, definitely enjoy God. Enjoy it. So we all bow our heads.